Janus. So let's see what your question is. All right, so this is for Patrick Redding here. When the team first came together, we saved the life of someone important, either to the city or to us. Who was it? Why were they important?
I think it would be good if it was someone who has some sort of pull and like someone close to the mayor but isn't the mayor. So I would say somewhere like maybe do mayors have advisors?
Yeah.
Possibly the mayor's assistant. You could always just BS some other important job, like I don't know, like the head director of zoning.
I mean, I think
head of the planning commission.
Head of the planning commission.
Planning commission sounds good.
Okay, so you guys saved the. Let me get out my notepad here. All right, so when you guys first came together in your first like episode 0 comic book, you saved the head of planning for Halcyon City, for city planning. Perfect. Not quite saving the mayor, but very respectable.
Yeah.
All right, going down the list, we get to the protege, whose question is... there's the protege. Okay. So to the protege here, when your team first came together, we struck together after all was said and done. We stuck together after it was all said and done. Why? How did we keep in contact? So, like, after whatever this situation was, what kept you guys together?
I would say that after having to be part of the group, my mentor saw this, and this is how he gave everyone communicators and said, if you're going to be the next generation, you might as well all keep in touch with each other. Guided us to our new base, and because we now have a place to hang out and be heroes, and with communicators, we've kept in touch. And also, since we have to make sure to keep it cleaned up, so he didn't give us any robots because he's stingy like that. We've kind of had to maybe work together to uphold our own base.
Cool. All right. So I believe the next person to ask here is our beacon. So let's see here. Beacon's all at the top, I believe. Okay. When the team first came together, we found signs that this incident was just the start of something bigger. What were the signs? So I guess here we're starting to get into like the meat and potatoes of what this adventure was.
Yeah.
You guys had some smaller incident that somehow involved saving the head of planning, city planning, and you guys suspect that this is just the tip of the iceberg, that something bigger is coming. So, what I guess we can all throw in here on what we think the fight was or what happened. But it's going to be up to our beacon to decide what the signs were that this was a sign of things to come.
What about, alright, so if it's the head of planning, so suppose the city was looking to either expand or repair an area or spot where there was something already there in hiding. And that's what put him in danger.
Okay, so it was something that directly happened because of the head of city planning's actions.
Yeah, so like maybe he wanted to revitalize a certain district, and more people who lived underground there ended up retaliating or something like that.
Okay, anybody have any ideas to throw in on that?
I think that's actually a pretty good idea. Something the something that was going to be either done away with or some sort of creation of a new zoning district would be a good reason to piss off a villain.
Okay, so is it a
labs-
new villain, or maybe it's an old villain that hasn't been seen until this happened?
I think the thing is that it's the villain. We dealt with the villain, but there were signs that he wasn't the only one opposed to this thing.
Cool. All right. So what was this area that was getting threatened? Was it like some sort of like grouping of like dilapidated buildings, or like maybe it was a historic district that like they just decided to get rid of, or maybe an industrial complex? Maybe it's like a park.
Everybody's just pissed that all their evil labs are being rezoned from industrial to residential.
Yeah. What do you think? Should we go with that? That sounds. It would have to be like. So it would have to be something that affected more than just one person. So it can't just be one building. So it would have to be like a zone or area, or maybe something. Yeah.
Let's say it's an industrial area, and it's known for having a lot of transients of various kinds, including the like alien or mutant or dregs of society.
Yeah. And it was abandoned because these were older industrial sites, and Halcyon City has been moving towards more renewable energy and so on.
Okay. Yeah. All right, so rezoning into the slums is what caused this. And the plans are still going forward, and you're like, okay, this situation is only going to get worse.
Yeah, that's it.
Cool. So let's pop back over to our last question from our innocents, which is when the team first came together, your future self was involved somehow. You tried to stop them. It took the rest of the team to help you succeed. How did we stymie your future self's plans?
Perhaps that's the old villain that hadn't been seen in a while, or the villain that hadn't been seen in the area is her future self that's hacked off her new underground arms line being rezoned for urban development.
Does she still go by Miss Detroit, or does she have a new name?
No, new name. I don't know. I came up with Torch, but could be Torch of something. I was going to say Torch of Liberty, but it turns out that's a hell book here. I'm not going to do that.
Okay. Let's see here. Detroit Steelworks.
How about Blaze of Glory?
Yeah, that's I like that.
Blaze of Glory?
That's really good.
Cool. So Blaze of Glory showed herself for the first time in years. So how did you and your everybody like manage to stop your future self?
Well, I guess Nell showed up and then discovered it's like, oh shit, I am a lot more powerful than I used to be.
Weird how that works.
Yeah, and I guess everybody else might have had their own suspicions or reasons to be there. That then they decided, we can't beat her one-on-one. So if we team up, we can do it.
Cool. And I imagine that like the crux of the plan eventually had to fall on that power negation move from me.
And I was also going to ask, you're from the Silver Age. My mentor's from the Golden Age. It's possible that my mentor might have known you as well, because he was in Gold and Silver.
She probably at least recognizes, would recognize the name from superheroing. But she's she's probably optimistic enough because she's from 60 years that she thought, I can talk myself out of doing terrible things and that didn't work.
Yeah.
It could at least get punched long enough to get power negation going.
So your future self had no qualms about fighting her past self.
Yeah, probably not. This is the weaker version of herself, so why not teach her a lesson so that she can learn it again in the future? I don't know. Time travel's complicated.
Was that your future self's response to? Oh no, fucking time! I hate this shit. It's convoluted.
That's both Nell's responses to this. Is fucking time travel.
Cool.
Physics 101 did not cover this.
Okay, yeah. So let's handle relationships in reverse order here. And while we do that, I'm going to ask what moves people got if they didn't tell me before. So what powers did Miss Detroit... I'm sorry, what moves did you pick for Miss Detroit?
I picked Martyr and White Knight, kind of sticking with her being sort of the optimistic kind of... she punches people a lot, but she talks a lot to him. She's kind of a talky kind of, oh God, why won't she shut up sort of.
All right, yeah. You're like, oh God, she's still going.
She's still talking. Can't throw her through.
She has all the same powers as my grandmother. All right, so let's do your relationships then. Blank is helping me understand this weirdo future. I follow their lead. So the way this works is whoever you pick to fill in this blank out of the other players gets a influence over you.
Okay. It's a good question.
Oh no, I'm sorry. This is just relationships. Influence comes next. We're going to be doing that next. So who is helping you understand the future?
Probably Salvatore. He's got that golden age connection that she would feel kind of comfortable with. Would think he's if he's anything like the old one, I can trust him.
Yeah, the Torrentello. That is a name you can trust. You recognize that.
That's the brand recognition, right?
Okay, so he's helping you understand the future. And let's see here. I saved someone important to blank. Now they're my biggest defender.
Huh. I don't know.
This doesn't exactly have to be one of the other player characters. You could say it's like someone very important to the mayor.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe somebody in the city, in the zoning board was a huge Miss Detroit fan. Oh my God, it's her, and she's punching an older version of herself. It's confusing. Yeah.
Collectively, the inhabitants of Halcyon City groan whenever anything time travel related happens.
Yeah, anytime there's multiple different colored versions of hero fighting each other.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe the chief of police or somebody.
Okay, you saved someone important to the chief of police.
Yeah.
Now they're your biggest defender. Cool. So you've got brownie points with the police.
Big guy.
So influence. These people are your guides, your friends, and the ones helping you find a better way. Pardon. But you are careful about whose guidance you follow. Give influence to 2 of your teammates.
Probably, I guess, let's see, this is different from relationship.
Yes, it is. So if someone has influence over you, they can attempt to either help you in situations, hurt you in situations by taking advantage of your relationship, or they can try to shift your labels by telling you what you are.
Right.
Like, if you're not strong enough to do something, they can take you inside and say, "No, you're not that villain. You're the hero this town needs." and they
Right.
can try and like shift up your savior.
Okay. Probably. I guess it's. We'll go again. I guess with Tarantella, because they're getting that golden age, that rock solid moral compass. Can't in this weird, crazy time where everybody's doing whatever they want. These kids today. It's a guy that I can stick with. And then probably Trent, because all that tech is really cool, and he has like a magic bow and arrow. Pretty sweet.
Cool. Yeah. All right. So that's for you. So if we're going in reverse order here, we will go to the beacon next. So let's pop up the beacon. So your relationships. Blank is awesome, and you take every chance you can to hang out with them.
I think it would be Miss Detroit because she's not jaded, so she has kind of the same approach to superheroing that I do. She's still like new to superheroing compared to her modern day self. So I think I would really appreciate that.
All right, so yeah, you like hanging out with Miss Detroit.
Yeah.
Yeah, the two doe-eyed characters.
Right. Cool.
Excitable young kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so you've got to prove yourself to Blank before you feel like a real hero.
The Quick Thief is which playbook is it? The Patrick Redding is which playbook?
This is the Beacon.
No. All right. No, well, like, who is Patrick Redding? Quick.
Oh, me. That's me. I'm a Janice.
Right. I think I would need to impress you, because the Janus traditionally is like responsibility and really dedicated to fulfilling his duty, that kind of thing, as a superhero. So I think for me, you would kind of quote unquote be like the father figure I have to impress.
Okay. All right, and lastly, influence. You're so excited to be here.
Yeah.
Give influence over 3 of your teammates. So
Everybody
has influence over the Beacon.
Yeah.
So Arrowhead everyone has influence over.
Dance, monkey, dance.
Oh, I'll show you dancing.
Okay. So that's taken care of. Who's next? The protege. Okay.
I put him in my sheet. I chose been reading the files, heroic tradition, and my passive is be mindful of your surroundings.
Okay. So, relationships. You and Blank teamed up a few times before the rest of the team came together.
I actually feel that I almost want to say Mr. Detroit, but actually I feel that if anything, because Derby has something to prove, and my mentor feels like he wants to give him that chance as well. I've teamed up with Trent because we're both pretty much the young bloods that are having to pretty much become the next generation. He's been like tutoring us, but he's told me to watch Miss Detroit because he knows about how she becomes evil. And he's like, hey, if you see that she's possibly going on the deep end, becoming what she is now.
That's your second one, correct?
Yeah, so I team up with Arrowhead a lot, but I have to look, but I have to watch out for Miss Detroit or Blaze of Glory as it is now.
So that's why Arrowhead looks up to Quick Thief then, because he already knows Toratella like inside and out. That's his buddy. That's not someone to look up to.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, you're sticking close to Arrowhead, but keeping an eye on Miss Detroit in case she turns evil again. Okay. So influence. Choose your demeanor: playful or business.
Salvatore, I'm gonna be honest. I want to choose business. I'm not business, but I actually gonna choose playful because it wouldn't be fair. So I'd say I give influence to Arrowhead and to shake things up, even Miss Detroit because he actually believes in the best in her and and he doesn't believe that she has to turn evil.
Hey,
Yeah.
Cool. All right, so that just leaves our protege.
Janice.
You are correct. Let me just get to that page. Here we are. So the Janice. Blank knew you from your civilian life first.
I feel like it'd make sense that it would be the Beacon. Because
Okay. So does the Beacon know that you were? Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So the Beacon looks up to you as a hero when you have the mask on,
Yeah.
but also knows you when you're a normal person.
Yeah.
Does the Beacon know? All right. Does Arrowhead realize that these two people are the same person?
I think it'd be a little bit more interesting if he didn't know that.
Me too. I agree.
Cool. Yeah, I like it. You refused to tell Blank your secret identity when they asked.
I think that would be Miss Detroit because she's got an evil self walking around, and 2 is worse than 1.
and she also talks a lot.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want her just telling people.
She's too gay. All right. You look up to your teammates. They seem to have the superhero thing figured out. Give 2 of them influence over you.
Salvatore and Miss Detroit.
Okay. So everybody have recorded who you have influence over, like that?
So I have. I definitely know I have Derby, and I also have. I think I have everybody.
Cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
Wait, who I have influence over?
I think it's Trent and somebody else. Is who I have.
Yeah, I know that you have influence over Arrowhead.
Yeah.
I think that might be it.
Okay. That's kind
Alright.
of
And just so you know, all adults automatically have influence over you.
Yeah.
Yep.
I have over Miss Detroit and Tarantella.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, did you pick out the last of your social obligations there?
Yeah, I did. I put close loved one, I think is what it was. It was close relative, and that would be my
So your
mom.
mother.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I think we have everything we need to get started. That took about an hour. Does anybody want a quick break or anything before we jump into it?
Yeah, I could use a quick break.
I'm gonna get a drink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody take 10.
Cool.
Okay.
All right. See you guys soon. Okay, are people back yet?
I'm here.
I'm back. I'm just working on my backstory.
I'm here. Oh, so you're
Okay.
way back.
I guess we'll wait a bit longer and see when whatever shows back up.
He went offline? Wow. That's extreme. I think maybe my mom got her new boyfriend to get me that job.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. And because dad isn't around, that's probably why I'm running around looking for dad figures. Right, so we can. Hey, hello?
Yep. Hi. Sorry about that. It started acting up right before the break. I had to.
Yeah, not sure what caused it.
Okay, welcome back.
Thank you. Should have the roll 20 pin back up.
Let's see here. Yep. Who are we missing on roll 20?
Me. Whatever.
Okay, there you go. All right, let's get this party started. So we begin with a comic book opening up to the intro page. And it's an establishing shot of Halcyon City.